Okay, that's right. Hello, teacher Karina. This is teacher Roman. I'm from Nugma of Yucatan, from the state of Yucatan. I talk about that few techniques of the reflections on the teacher practice, chapter 3 and chapter 4, group work and mixing abilities, digital presentation with points, right? So I talk about that you group works. So it's very important, for example, to motivate it, for example, our students for it's necessary to learn it best to improve their English. So with the advantage that communicate approach to the technique group and peer work became on the pillars on the modern English language classroom. We have seen, for example, that sound and output hypothesis support the notion that extended practice and output. The input and output is very important for the students. It's necessary for success. It's SELA, and we have seen this negotiation meanings is also considered to enhance SLA as it is caliphonic, and that's all the kids can be encouraged. This is small drop works, right? So you have on that you right. So one is the participation, right? So the more recent advantage to keep competing for lifelong learning Europe and 2006 and single work considered less and techniques for teaching dance and few and central competence for any person attempting to function in what is called no society. There are some obvious advantages to growth and peer works and the pre-competence literature on topic typically indefinite 5. Number 1, students have more opportunities. A student have more opportunities for to show the weight of the more, that's your explanations, that's in the topic, the environment in the students of other students. Group work provides a less trading environment for the learners to use to, and the language too. And so it can engage motivation and contribute to feelings of comparison and work in classroom. So number 3 is the group work foster learning responsibility and independence. Number 4, group work can contribute to learnings and help you to acquisition through the process, such as scaffolding. It also argued. Example, loan in 1990. Group work provided learners with the opportunity to use further language in that by negotiation, meaning in a group learners will use a great variety of functions. Number 5, the teacher are be able to individualize their teaching more because they are free to monitor and observe a student using language of growth. What is the serval learnings? What is the serval learnings? The serval learnings is about that you to serve for to learn. For example, it's serve to my students, to my teacher, the students learning better, some more words and specific, right? So when a wheels holds to above is through more modern view of group work might take in the followings and divided in 2 points. The first point is group work enables teacher to extend the topics based on the teaching to work on variety of contexts and to introduce a certain criteria related to the group members' ability to fulfill operational and functional skills. That's very important to know because the teacher, for example, extending that the topic is true. It's more interesting. It's more that's you. In finally, the students choose or selection 1, 2, 3 ideas, but that's you the teacher say. So the number 3, ICT has enabled a whole new dimension to group work, particularly with the reference to what have become known as when quests or internet research-based project which require sophisticated levels of cooperations and planning, right? Disadvantage excuse me, is growth work. However, there are also potential disadvantages to growth and the pair works. Studying only their mother tongue discipline. The mother tongue, for example, many students confuse some sentences and or exist only in English, and so interchange when they interchange the ideas. They choose the principal ideas in Spanish and English. It's a very that's you far in the far or to get a good points, for example. And discipline may be a problem in noise level. High reduced group of work students may do the tasks badly or not all too stronger. Students may dominate while weaker excuse me, students sit back on nothing. Several factors will influence the effectivity for otherwise of parent group works. The surrounding social climate or cultural context, whenever the class is used to parent group work or not. Their task type is relevant to the student's needs and interests. It is stimulating and intrinsically motivating. Whether the parent group works in effectively set up by the teacher. So that is you very important that the teacher is a principal motivators and carry up on the different ideas. And for this reason is always to go and to take a hands and the students the minus level. So and develop that's the English and the advanced level. So it's very important to take a hands, for example, right? So you and cooperative learnings, group works, for example, individual process, emotional process, cognitive process, classroom activities, objectives, syllabus, practice, evaluations, and so. Interpersonal relations, interpersonal relation, for example, emotional, affectivity, cooperation, and interactions. This is a figure on in the anthology of the University Expo figure 3.1, 3.1s, and factor influence group work, right? Collaborative, cooperative learning. So in this, the literature is very important for the students. The literature points to main classroom goal and structure, which are, for example, individual works. Learners work on a task on their own pace. Competitive goal structure. Here learners work against each other in order to success. Collaborative goal structure. In this case, learners work together in a small group towards a common level. Common goal. This is a principal points, and we have that you to learn English very well. Individual works, competitive goal structure, collaborative goal structure. So you have the 3 points. You have you are better students of the English, right? So for a collaborative learning to be successful and find important things needing to be taken into account. For example, positive interdependence, individual accountability, verbal interaction, sufficient social skills, and team reflection. So that's the for collaborative learnings to be successful, Positive, individual, verbal interaction, sufficient, and team reflection. Right, for this reason, this is very important. So, thank you. And the other chapter, for example, the chapter 4, I like that's the topic because I see very interesting. That's the idea. For example, mixing abilities. For example, the term mixing abilities is no longer buzzwords in the dictionary in general nor in language teaching in particular, and seem to have fallen out of favor as an explicit convulsion policy, almost as if its presence and its importance were taken for granted, and that all teachers were aware of its importance and how to plan for it. This is my introduction about the mixing abilities. Right, the advantage of taking mixing ability growth. For example, the author, Penny Orr, the 1996 in the page 305 details on the advantage of teaching heterogeneous clear follows. Number one, such classes provide a more richer pool of human resources than to similar or less mixed classes. Number two, there is educational value in the actual contact between very different kinds of people of a student get know each other's values. The point number three, the fact that the teacher is very much less able to attend to every individual in class means that in order for the class to function well, the students themselves must help by teaching each other and working together. Number four, these classes can be seen as very much challenging and interesting to teach and provide a great opportunity for creating innovation and general professional development. For example, that's you. For example, in my case in the school, we have a 40 students in one row. This is a very difficult for one teachers because it's combined or works in groups. It's very important for individually to review the task. Oh, right, a longer time. It's a more time you need it for your qualification. That's the homeworks or the task. So it's a very difficult for the mixed abilities. So interchange the notebooks. I write. That's the answer in the blackboard. You watch them and so review the task in interview. And after that, you that's the student interchange and another again the notebook, and you yes, okay, that's right. It's very good. Have a hero about a wrong. So it's a very interesting. That's the ability for the teacher for the control, have a control of the group of 40 students or 50 students. It's so much, it's too much, right? So the literature of Dylan Biggs' ability bonds to several teaching which teacher can in their classes includes group works to encourage to cooperation and peer teaching. Use the same material but arrange tasks for different levels proficiency. Use extension of optional extra activity for learning who finished that earn. Remedial work, for example, recycling activities which review. Self-access that follow with learning to choose their own activities or monitor and check their own progress. Tasks and make use of linguistic as a linguistic knowledge. For example, the teacher might use a linguistic elements such drawing, music, mimings, on sharing word for knowledge in the LI and the L1 as a starting point for activities. Right. In multiple intelligences, musical, visual, interpersonal, naturalistic, mathematical, linguistic, interpersonal. So the people is smart, the body is smart, the music smart, the picture smart, the soul smart, the natural smart, the logical smart, and word smart, people smart. Multiple intelligence mentioned that linguistic is intelligence, logical mathematical intelligence, spatial intelligence, body kinetic intelligence, musical intelligence, interpersonal intelligence. So intrapersonal intelligence and natural intelligence. Implication for the teachers. What do these all mean for mixing ability classroom? How can this be theory help the teacher? So it's a little complicated. That's you. For example, in my case, I work one, two, or three abilities in this case, for example, in mathematics. For example, 2 plus 2 or 2 minus 2. What is in write in English with the letters. Linguistic intelligence, right, is the guess, and the guess what the animal is, all right, and description and you. And so thinking about that's the students' rights. The musical intelligence, for example, the musical is very important for to learn another languages. For this reason, the singer try to write so you in very important. So right so is in very. So that's all. Thank you very much for your attention. And so I like it to learning the news objective in these goals, right? So I like it. Goodbye, teacher Karina. I hope you like my works. Is a good, right? Thank you very much for your attention, please, and stopping, right?